Hi everyone, welcome to May 6th, Math 8, and today we're going to look at 8.7, volume of cones. And so if you will get out from package 3, page 322, titled Volume of Cones, we'll be looking at the extra example 1 on this page, and then I'll show you a tutorial from Big Ideas Math. And then I'll show you the printed practice worksheet titled Volume of Cones for today's practice. So if you look at the formula sheet that you should have still in package 3, I had mentioned in an earlier lesson that the purpose I keep having you direct your attention to this is just to know that there are a lot of different formulas here which can be quite overwhelming. Had we had SOL testing this spring, you would have been able to have this formula sheet with you or in any lesson we did with geometry. So just to give you that assurance that you don't have to memorize these formulas. And I'm trying to expose you to all the different lessons from this chapter. So if you feel a little rushed to have a tutorial and then a practice lesson, know that I just want you to try your best. Again, I just wanted to expose you to the different lessons from this chapter. So for today, we're focusing around the cone. Now, as you'll see on page 322, the formula is V equals 1/3 BH. Well, B stands for base. And in order to find the area of the base of a circle, you would use pi r squared. So our formula has that written on this formula sheet, V equals 1/3 pi r squared times h rather, to find the volume of a cone. So let's go ahead now and look at page 322. Okay, on page 322, again, you see at the top where it says volume of a cone. The volume V of a cone is 1/3 the product of the area of the base and the height of the cone. So your first study tip to see here is that the height of a cone is the perpendicular distance from the base to the vertex. And again, they have indicated that right here. The other study tip here is to know that because B is pi r squared, you can use V equals 1/3 pi r squared h to find the volume of a cone. So in other words, you're taking all of the values here, and I think it's easier. You can use either formula, but just to know that the B here stands for pi r squared. And so this first example asks you to find the volume of the cone and then to round your answer to the nearest tenth. And in this example right here, they're showing that the diameter is 4 meters. So don't be tricked with that because we don't want diameter, we want the radius. And so half of the diameter is the radius. Let's take so it would be 2, sorry, for this example. Let's take a look at the online example 1 broken down as you have in front of you. So as I just mentioned, in this example, find the volume of the cone, round your answer to the nearest tenth. And so the diameter is 4 meters, which means the radius is 2. Always write down your formula. And again, we know that the formula here for base is pi r squared. And so you would write 1/3 pi 2 squared for the radius, and then 6 for the height. In this example here, they're solving this and adding pi or multiplying pi, sorry, at the end. The practice worksheet they're going to see today doesn't multiply pi at the end, but this one does. So again, just another perspective or a way of solving this. So one way I would solve it is I would use my calculator, 1 divided by 3 times 4 times 6, and then multiply it by pi, 3.14. Let's take a look at the tutorial.
Find the volume of the cone. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. First, let's start by writing the formula for the volume of a cone. We have the volume V is equal to 1/3 times the area of the base B times the height H. So now we're ready to substitute our values from our cone. So we have 1/3 times the area of the base. When we look at our cone, we can see that the base is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So what's our radius of the base? In this case, we're given a diameter. Remember, the diameter is twice the radius. So we'll divide 6 by 2 and find that our radius is 3. So we have the area of the base is pi times 3 squared. Now we need to substitute in the height. We see that the height is 3 feet, so we can multiply by 3. Now we're ready to simplify. Notice we have 1/3 times 3. When we do this multiplication, we get 1. Then we have 1 times 3 squared, which is 9. So we have 9 pi cubic feet as the volume. And that's approximately 28 3/10 cubic feet. So we found the volume of our cone to be 9 pi cubic feet, or about 28 3/10 cubic feet.
For today's practice, I'm going to ask you to find the worksheet again in Packet 3 titled Volume of a Cone. And here they put the formula in once again for you. V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So you're multiplying this together to find volume. And so our example, they have 1/3 times pi, which is 3.14, and the radius squared, which the radius here is 3, and then the height right here, which is 9. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You could multiply 1 divided by 3, or you could divide 3 into one of these other numbers such as 9. It is up to you. Again, you are rounding your answer. Now in this example, they're multiplying pi right at the beginning. Whereas in our book, they didn't multiply pi 3.14 until after everything else was calculated. So I'll let you choose. Just remember again that you're rounding your answer to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to show you the first 3 problems. The answers for numbers 1 through 3, just so you can compare. I hope that you do have a great day. Remember, again, I want you to just take one day at a time. This would be so much easier if we could be in person. Home learning is not the easiest, especially trying to explain math. So thank you again for just trying. If you do have a specific email, though, if you're having a difficult time solving the problem or not sure how to solve it, please send me an email. I can email you back, or I can return a call. I will talk to you soon.